Every hacker has a reason for what they do. For some, it feels like standing at the edge of a closed door, hearing adventure call from the other side. Curiosity can be as strong as a river after rain. But the world of hacking is not just about skill. It is like learning to pick a lock, not just to steal, but to know you can. That first thrill is both a secret and a silent promise of more. Sometimes, a question is a key that opens new paths. Maybe you were up late, alone with your thoughts, feeling the gentle pull of what if. Every story begins with a door no one else will open. Some hackers feel no guilt, and others carry deep regret. The line between pride and shame is often invisible. It is like walking on a frozen lake, unsure which step might crack the ice. For some, every hack feels like a small victory. For others, it is a weight they cannot set down. Why do two people make the same choice but feel so differently? It comes down to what fills their hearts. Some see themselves as heroes. Others hide from their own reflection, wishing the past could be changed. At the end of every long day, what we feel inside shapes our sleep. This search for meaning, belonging, mattering, or making a mark can steer a person like a compass lost in a storm. The first hack often starts with simple curiosity. Sometimes it is a harmless dare, sometimes just a test of the rules. The question is not always should I. More often it is, can I? Finding a small weakness is like discovering a secret shortcut in a city you know well. No one else sees the path, so you walk it, step by step, believing you are the only traveler. Long after, memories of that first step can appear in quiet moments, during a bus ride, or when you lie awake at night. Curiosity opens doors, but what is behind them stays with you. For some, it is about proving they are smarter than the system. Outsmarting a machine can feel like winning a game of chess. You use your mind as the queen that outmaneuvers every piece. The need to be clever is like the itch to solve a riddle no one else can. Success becomes its own reward, and is proof that you can see what others miss. If you've ever cracked a tough code or solved a tricky problem, you know the feeling. It is not about the prize. It is the story you get to tell yourself when it is all over. Money can be a powerful reason to break the rules. Bills stack up like bricks in a wall, and dreams sometimes seem just out of reach. For some, hacking is a shortcut through life's heavy traffic. The line between want and need gets blurry when you tell yourself that no one will get hurt. Finding a lost wallet and keeping it can seem harmless until you see the owner's face. We all create bedtime stories to help us sleep. Some are honest. Others are just tales that help us ignore the truth. Moving forward can sometimes mean running from what we know is wrong. Others hack to get attention or respect from friends. When you feel invisible, a single moment in the spotlight can feel like winning gold. Recognition can warm even the coldest nights. Respect can be as valuable as money, and sometimes even more. In a world where people compete to stand out, hacking can feel like writing your name on the tallest building in town. Sometimes, all a person wants is to be noticed, even for a mistake. The world is loud, and feeling important, even for a day, can be the biggest prize of all. Many hackers do not think about the harm at first. Code is just code, words on a screen, not people or feelings. Distance makes the consequences seem small, like tossing a stone into a far-off lake. Not seeing the person on the other side makes it easy to believe no one is really hurt. The digital world can feel like a video game, where points are won and lost, but nothing is truly at stake. Yet every action is a ripple that touches distant shores. The truth of harm sometimes travels slowly, but when it arrives, it cannot be ignored or taken back. The thrill of success makes some hackers want more. Each win feels like climbing higher up a mountain and chasing the rush of a new view. Every step up can make coming down even harder. Victory is sweet. It is a private secret and a stolen trophy. But just like sugar, too much thrill leaves you hungry for more and never fully satisfied. The rush is real, but it fades. Like a roller coaster, the ride slows, and you are left with only your own thoughts, wondering if you will ever feel that high again. Peer pressure sometimes pushes people into hacking. Friends dare you laugh with you and say everyone is doing it. Saying no can feel lonelier than stepping into the dark. The need to fit in is powerful, like wearing a team jersey even if you do not play. When everyone else is crossing the line starts to disappear. Sometimes you follow the crowd because being together feels safer than being right. Loneliness can be a much stronger motivator than curiosity. Some hackers call themselves digital heroes or cyber warriors. They believe their actions help others, fighting for a cause that is bigger than themselves. It feels like the Robin Hood myth, taking from the rich and giving to the poor. Standing up for something can make anyone feel brave. When your cause feels just, it is easier to ignore the rules or forget who might get hurt. Stories shape reality. If you call yourself a hero often enough, sometimes you believe it and sleep better because of it. Others may only see the damage. Getting caught changes how many hackers feel. Suddenly every action becomes real, like waking up from a dream to find the consequences waiting. When you are discovered, time slows. The things that were fun or exciting now feel sharp and heavy, impossible to ignore. One moment can flip the story. What was secret becomes public, and you have to face what you did, not just what you hoped would happen. Seeing a victim's pain causes deep regret for some. A message, a sad photo, or a trembling voice can pierce every excuse and show the true cost of a single choice. When you realize a real person was on the other side, the game is over. Guilt moves in, filling up the spaces where pride once lived. Pain does not need an invitation. It crosses screens, miles, and years. Knowing you caused it can change you, even if you try not to let it show. Some hackers feel pride even after hurting others. Beating the system can feel like outsmarting fate itself. It can seem like a private joke with the universe. Winning is addictive, and sometimes pride covers up everything else. You can convince yourself the world is just a game, and you are the only one playing to win. But pride is slippery. It can help you stand tall or make you blind to the real cost. Sometimes it is both at the same time. Others cannot sleep, haunted by what they have done. The things you thought would fade away come back louder in the quiet, demanding to be heard. Regret weighs down every night, a heavy blanket you cannot throw off. Guilt is not logical. It does not care how smart you are or how good your reasons sounded. Sleeplessness is the body's way of reminding you that not every secret stays buried. Some lessons keep knocking until you finally listen. Parents and friends may never know the secret life. Many hackers hide what they do, building walls out of silence and half-truths. Secrets feel light at first, like carrying a small stone in your pocket. But stones add up. Over time, the burden becomes harder to hide. Sometimes the heaviest weight is not the secret itself, but the space it creates between you and those you care about most. Losing family or friends is a heavy cost. Relationships bend and sometimes break under the pressure of lies. Trust slips away like water through your fingers. Love and trust are fragile. Once broken, they are hard to rebuild. The emptiness left behind can echo for years. The cost is not always what you expect. It is not just about time, money, or lost chances. Sometimes it is about missing the people who once filled your life with light. A simple mistake can turn fun into disaster. One wrong click or one missed warning, and suddenly the whole world changes. No one thinks the worst will happen to them. Mistakes do not care about intentions. They can flip a story upside down in a heartbeat. It is not always the big risks that catch you. Sometimes it is the tiny details that end up shaping everything. Some hackers never feel bad, believing no one got hurt. They build strong walls of belief, telling themselves it was all harmless and that everyone does it, so it is okay. Beliefs can be armor, keeping out the cold winds of guilt. If you convince yourself nothing really changed, it is easier to keep moving, but armor can crack. Time has a way of making even the strongest beliefs start to feel thin, especially when the truth seeps in around the edges. For others, guilt grows as time goes by. Excitement fades, replaced by a slow, steady ache of regret that colors every memory. Time is a mirror, shows you the choices you made, sometimes years later when you are ready to see them clearly. Regret does not shout, it whispers, waiting for the right moment to remind you of what cannot be undone. Apology and making things right can bring some peace. Saying sorry is like opening a window and letting in fresh air after a long storm. It is not always easy to admit you were wrong, but the act of facing the truth can lighten the load you carry each day. Forgiveness is a journey, not a single step. Trying to fix what is broken can help turn regret into a kind of hope for a better ending. The law can catch up to anyone, even careful hackers. Like shadows at sunset, Consequences grow longer the further you run. Rules are there for a reason: to protect, to guide, to draw lines. Breaking them can feel exciting, but every shortcut leaves a mark. Getting away with something can feel like winning until it is not. Every story has a last page, and sometimes the ending is out of your hands. Shame is stronger than fear for some who get caught. It is not just about punishment. It is about facing those who believed in you and knowing you let them down. Looking someone in the eye and telling the truth is one of the hardest things to do. Fear can fade, but shame can last much longer. What others think can matter more than any sentence. Respect lost is not easily found again, and shame can echo far beyond the courtroom. Stories of hackers who changed for good inspire others and remind us that people are not their worst mistake. Growth is always possible. Change takes courage, and it is built one choice at a time. Turning things around is hard, but it can start with a single honest step. Redemption stories matter. They show that even after a fall, hope can return, and a new story can begin. Some try to help after hurting people online. They become defenders, turning skills once used for harm into shields for others. But doing good does not erase the past, but it can tip the scales toward balance. Helping someone else is a way to begin making things right. A fresh start is not a clean slate, but it is a chance to build something new. Proof that people can be more than their biggest mistake. Others keep hacking, feeling nothing about their actions. Not everyone regrets what they have done. For some, hacking is just the way things are. Living without regret can seem powerful. Sometimes not feeling is its own kind of emptiness, a quiet space where nothing grows. Stories do not all end the same. Each path is shaped by choices, and each person must decide which voice inside they will follow. Meeting victims face to face is a turning point for some. Seeing real eyes and hearing real pain can turn a story upside down in an instant. Empathy grows in the space between two people. It cannot be forced, but once it appears, it changes everything. A moment like this can stay with you forever. Some lessons are only learned when you step out from behind the screen. Hiding secrets gets harder over time, lies multiply, and the truth waits, patient and unchanging. Secrets are heavy, and the longer you carry them, the more they weigh down your life. At some point, letting go becomes the only way forward. In the end, every secret wants to be told. The longer you wait, the harder it is, but the more freeing it can be when it finally happens. The media makes some hackers famous, but not always proud. Headlines can make you a hero or a villain overnight. Fame is not always the prize you expect. Spotlights shine brightly, but they also cast shadows. Sometimes, what you become in the world's eyes is not who you want to be inside. Public stories last a long time, but real life goes on quietly. The story you tell yourself before you fall asleep is the one that matters most. Hackers often struggle with trust, even in themselves. Knowing you can break in anywhere can make it hard to trust others, or even your own motives. Trust is delicate, like glass. Once broken, it is hard to put back together, and even then, the cracks still show. A life built on puzzles and secrets can be lonely, even in a crowded room. Sometimes what you need most is not another code, but someone to believe in you again. In the end, every hacker's story is shaped by what they feel inside. Pride, guilt, regret, and hope are the real drivers behind every line of code and every late-night decision. Choices are more than skill or luck. They are maps of what matters most. The human heart is always at the center, even when surrounded by machines. No journey is simple. Each one is a collection of choices, moments, and feelings that echo long after the computer is turned off. Do not forget to subscribe for more stories that explore the hidden side of technology and the choices that shape our world.